It's funny whenever I see people talking about, like, they'll ask like a bunch of like athletic guys, they'll be like, oh, what's your guilty pleasure song? And I'm like, yo, my whole music taste is considered guilty pleasure by most people. So that's that. How's the lighting, by the way? You like the lighting? I like the lighting today. Thanks. Me too. All right. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode number 30 of the Jason Scalora Show. Back in the studio alone. I think I kind of like this format of doing one episode with a guest, one episode by myself, talking about relationship, answering questions, doing things of that nature, and then going off and on between the two, just because relationships are my strong suit and I love it, and it kind of energizes me to, do more, produce more. And the content on relationships is what I usually like to post and clip up and put on my Instagram and TikTok and on YouTube Shorts. So, I mean, that's how we're gonna roll. I mean, granted, things might change, but for now, this is the format we're gonna stick to. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we're talking about relationships once again, as you probably could tell. Now, here's the thing that I wanted to start off with, because usually what I do is I, have people send in some questions, and then I'll answer the questions and, just take it from there and kind of go on little riffs and rants talking about whatever it is that that's pressing or just however I feel. But here's the thing, is lately what I've been realizing is that on like an overwhelming majority of my videos that I post, especially on Instagram specifically is what I'm talking about, most videos will have like a literally a 90-10 ratio of bad to good comments. Like an overwhelming majority of the comments that are on my comment sections are just roasting the shit out of me. Like, no joke, just flaming the fuck out of me. Some of them are jokes, but a lot of them are just like people straight up critiquing me. And so what I want to do is I want to take some time and respond to the comments and respond to the videos and kind of give you more context on what's going on and tell you whether or not I agree or disagree with the comment, or whether or not it's out of context, or whether or not they just don't understand, or I just didn't understand, or I was wrong, or whatever. So I just want to go through a couple of these and see, kind of break down where I think people are coming from and what it means, and, talk about, or maybe go deeper into a concept that maybe I'm not talking about enough. Because, honestly, if, 90% of people and 90% of the comments in your video, I'm probably exaggerating. It's probably less than 90%. But if an overwhelming majority of comments are negative, you're probably not explaining things right. Or, maybe people are, it's probably just not the right idea if an overwhelming majority of people are disagreeing. But there's also the case where, which I think to be true in most of these cases, which is, people who are going to comment on, videos on relationships are people who are going through it and are struggling. And the reason why I believe that is not only because, I have my head up my own ass and my ego's big, but it's because every single day I get DMs from people saying, hey dude, I just want to let you know that I love your videos, I love your content, and the shit you're putting out is really resonating with me, and it's really helped me in X, Y, and Z. And there's people that watch my relationship videos and are now clients of mine, and because of, the way that I'm speaking, but they're also not the people that are commenting on my videos. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because oftentimes the people who are happy and content and the people who are actually listening to the content I'm putting out and using it and think that it's a positive message are not the people who are commenting on my videos. The people who are commenting on my videos are the people that disagree. And I'm not saying that I'm right or I'm wrong, but what I am saying is oftentimes the people who are happy and positive and agree with the message that I'm putting out are not the people that are commenting. So a lot of times you look at my comment sections and it's always people that are talking shit and bashing me and making fun of me or whatever. And to be honest, I don't give a flying fuck, but, I just want that to be clear, because oftentimes you can look at the comment section and be like, oh my God, this guy's a piece of shit and no one agrees with what he's saying. But you're just looking at the comment section, and, comment sections tend to gear towards, people who want attention. And the only thing that's going to grab attention most of the time is not a positive, kind comment. It's the comment that's going to, make fun of me or take it apart or whatever. And I welcome all comments. I do this with every video. Anytime I see a comment that's hidden, even if there's curse words, it swears, I disagree with it, I don't like it, it's offensive, it's rude to me, which is almost all of them, I unhide those comments. When Instagram hides it for me, saying like, they swore or talk shit or whatever, it'll hide it for me. And I unhide it. I want you to be able to see anything, and I want anybody who wants to talk shit, hate on me, to be able to express their opinions. Because to be honest, like, I have my opinion, you have yours. If you want to comment, go ahead, go for it. I think freedom of speech is important. I think that if you want to comment and say whatever the fuck you want to say, then you should be able to go for it and say what you want to say. So you'll always find that with me with anything. I'm completely open to you saying whatever it is that you want to say. It doesn't mean I'll agree with it, but it does mean that, I will say what I want to say. So here's the first one. This one had 735,000 views on my Instagram, and an overwhelming majority of these comments were negative. So basically what I was doing, and I will still give this advice, which is if you want to find the one, you make a list of all the things, all the values, all the physical traits, everything that you could possibly think of in a person. Write all those things down. Go back through on that list, check off the things that are absolute make or breaks, meaning they could have everything else in the list. If they don't have that one thing, it's over. And then become those things. Embody those traits. That's the way to find the one. Because when you become the one, you attract the one, right? And what I was getting at in this video was I was just giving examples of things that you could write on your list because I wanted people to understand. I want you to be as specific as possible. So the two examples that I gave were, I think I said blue eyes and big tits. And it was like a joke. It was just me kind of being silly about it. But also talking about the philosophy behind it, which was write everything down that you possibly could think of and then go back through and check out the things that are absolute make or breaks. Now, if blue eyes and big tits are make or breaks for you, I probably would want to figure out why. I don't think that should be a make or break for you, but if it is, so be it. But people tore me apart for that because, in the comment section, they tore me apart for that because they didn't understand and they didn't actually listen to what the fuck I was saying. I wasn't saying that blue eyes and big tits are make or break. Obviously, that's not the fuck I was saying. What I was saying was make the list as specific as possible. That's what I was saying. But people want to go through and be like, oh my God, he fucking look at these superficial values. This is why we can't trust men, and then just fucking tearing me apart. And I'm like, oh my God, you're not even listening. All you're doing is taking one little piece of the content and then making it seem however it is that you want it to seem. And not for nothing, the actual video on YouTube has less than 100 views. So none of you that are commenting are actually watching the full form podcast. And this is the thing that actually pisses me off a lot, which is so many people will go on my videos and comment these fucking pages. They'll just comment, just tearing me apart on a 30-second clip that they decided to take out of context without watching the full episode. How the fuck are you going to have any sort of idea that you can write a fucking page and a half comment just tearing me to bits, calling me a bigot, a piece of shit, a misogynist, whatever the fuck you want to say, fill in the blank, when you haven't even watched the full video? How can you do that? 30 seconds of my philosophy, and you have the fucking nerve to comment on my video, tearing me apart as if you know what the fuck's going on. And 9 times out of 10, I'll get a DM from somebody. I have hundreds of DMs, just people telling me, be like, hey man, I didn't want to go in the comment section because I don't want people to, yell at me or tear me apart because, I just don't want to deal with that. But I saw these comments and they'll send me screenshots and be like, yeah, I read this and this and this. They're so stupid. I can't believe people, even say this kind of shit. And that's because happy, positive people don't leave fucking comments because they want to stay out of it. But I'll get the private DMs and messages of people saying, yeah, I don't know who these fucking idiots are in your comment section, but I just want you to know that the silent people are probably a part of the majority, not a part of the minority of angry people that are full of hatred that are actually the ones commenting. And those are the comments that people see and that you see and read. It's almost ridiculous to think that anybody could take, 10, 15 minutes out of their day to write a fucking book in my comment sections, tearing me apart on a 20-second clip when they haven't watched more than 2 minutes of the full form conversation that I had. That doesn't make any sense. And not for nothing, none of you fuckers would actually say these absolutely fucking horrendous things to my face. You wouldn't do it. I know for a fact you wouldn't do it because you're a human being. I don't believe you're an actual piece of shit, and that's why you're commenting these fucking books in my comment sections that are calling me these disgusting things if you actually saw me in person, because you're a human being. And not for nothing, I can almost guarantee if you heard me out and actually had a conversation and a discussion about whatever it is you disagree with, we probably would actually agree on the same thing. You probably are just taking what I'm saying out of context. Now, granted, I do speak in extremities. I speak in a way where a lot of things that I say that are opinion-based, I portray them in a way where they come off as I'm giving them off as fact, when it's just an opinion or what has worked for me in my own personal experience. So sometimes I can communicate in that way and people will be like, well, I don't know, Jay, maybe that works for you, but not for everybody else. And that I completely agree with. But to even suggest that you should come after me and say these fucking disgusting things in my comment sections because of a 20-second clip that you disagree with is fucking absurd when you haven't listened to anything that I've actually said for more than 10 seconds. It's insane. It's actually insane. And you know what else is actually hilarious now that I think about it? I have hundreds and hundreds of DMs. Hundreds of them. None of them, I mean 0 of them, have been negative. Maybe after this clip gets posted, there's going to be some that come in just because they want to be the one negative DM. But up until this point, nobody ever has sent me a negative DM, criticizing me, hating on me, talking their fucking bullshit. And one can only be led to believe that the reason for that is because no one else is going to fucking see it besides me. So why throw the fucking hate? The reason why you're probably throwing the hate is because you want, hundreds and thousands of people to like your comment so you could feel significant. Because if you wouldn't fucking DM it to me, and you're sure as well wouldn't fucking say it to my face, don't fucking comment it. Don't. Don't be a bitch. But you know what? None of you are going to listen anyways. And guess what? I don't care. I'm never going to delete a comment. I will never delete your comment. I don't care what you say. I won't delete it. Because I don't care. You should be able to say what you want to say, even if you're going to take what I'm going to say out of context. Even if you're not going to listen to the full form episode or a conversation that I had. Even if you're just spewing hate because you want attention for it. I'll never shut you out. I don't care. You're more than welcome to say whatever it is that you want to say. Just know you're being a fucking bitch for it. That's all. And this might come across as cocky and arrogant. I don't care. Educate yourself. Quit being stupid. Don't say things in a comment section that you wouldn't say to somebody else's face. You go to bed knowing that you're a fucking coward. That's all I'm saying. I'm probably coming across in a way where it seems like I'm actually very hurt by these comment sections because of how aggressively I'm speaking right now. But honestly, I could really care less. These comments don't really affect me. The comments that actually affect me are the ones where people are coming across in a way where what they have to say is actually valuable and they're not speaking full of shit. It's not like they're coming after me because they want to come after me and get likes and shares and people to agree with their comments, but they're giving me criticism on what I'm saying. But it's in a way where we're mutually trying to figure out this issue at hand and trying to make things better. Those comments actually matter to me because I'll use those and be like, you know what? Maybe I am wrong. Maybe what I'm saying is coming off a little too extreme. Maybe what I'm saying doesn't apply to everybody. Maybe I am coming across too arrogant or whatever. And that's fine. But those are the only ones I'm really going to listen to. So I hope I'm not coming across in a way where the reason why I'm going on this rant is because I'm so deeply hurt by these comments, because I'm really not. I mean, I don't want to say this to flex. I had over 270,000 followers on TikTok with hundreds of millions of views and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably over 1 million, cumulative comments on my videos. And, I've heard every single fucking thing that they could throw at me besides the fucking kitchen sink. So, I've really gone through my fair share of, feeling completely hurt and disaffected by negative comments. But I'm at the point where I understand, like, A, I barely read them anymore because it's just, it's such a waste of time. But B, to me, it's almost like, if you're commenting hate and spewing this bullshit at me, I know you're not happy. If you have the time to take out of your day and the energy to take out of your life to comment all these fucking disgusting things at me, you're not happy with yourself. No happy, positive people comment bullshit like that. They don't. They really don't. And that's why you're leaving it in the comment section. That's why you're not DMing it to me. That's why you're not saying it to my face. Because you're in this deep pit, I'm assuming, where, you're trying to fill a void. And I have empathy for that. And that's why it doesn't hurt me anymore like it used to, because I used to take it personal. I used to take it as, oh my God, they're coming after me. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe what I'm saying is completely dispensable. Maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. When in reality, if you're spewing hate like that, there's no possible way you're in a good place. And I love the way Joe Rogan talked about it. He was talking about, he was like, do you think Michael Jordan leaves comments on YouTube? Do you think he leaves hate comments? And everybody started laughing because the answer's fucking no. But why? Because people who are winning don't have the time, don't have the energy, and don't give a fuck enough to comment hate and bullshit. When you're in a good spot, you have no reason to spew the bullshit. There's no reason for it. Because you're in a good spot. Why the fuck would you hate on anybody else? Even if you disagree. Even if you think it's completely dispensable. Even if you think they're a fucking moron for whatever it is that they're saying. And if you want to comment and you want to have a conversation and you want to have that, dispute or the argument or, tell somebody like, hey, I disagree and this is why, and have the conversation, then you have the conversation. But you don't leave some 2-page hate comment on their Instagram reel because you're angry about what they said. That doesn't happen. Winners don't leave comments under fucking comment sections. They just don't. They really don't. They don't have the time, they don't have the energy, and they're mature enough and they're happy enough to be in a spot where they just don't do it. So it's ironic when you leave these hate comments because you're leaving a hate comment thinking that when you say whatever it is that you're going to say, that people are going to be like, oh my God, yeah, right. Like, fucking, yeah, I agree with you. Fuck this guy. Fuck this 22-year-old life coach. Fuck this kid. He's stupid. He's ignorant. When in reality, the only thing that you're portraying to me is how immature and unhappy you are. And the positive people who aren't going to say anything to you because they're positive and they're good, look at that and think the same thing like, damn. Must suck to live your life. There's no way you go to bed with a smile and wake up happy either. No way. So that's my rant on that. The other thing I wanted to bring up, because I see this all the time in my comment section, which is basically, why the fuck should I listen to this 16-year-old kid that thinks he knows shit about life? And, to be honest, it's like, fair enough. Like, I am young. I'm 21. Not 16, by the way. I know I look like I'm probably fucking 16. But why the fuck should I listen to somebody, who's 21 doesn't know shit about life? Well, it's like, okay, well, why shouldn't you? Like, fair question. My question for you is, why shouldn't you? What do you know about me? What do you know about what I know? What do you know about my life experiences? Have you had a conversation with me? If somebody who was older said the same exact thing, would you now think it's valuable? Why? Like, serious questions. Because a lot of people will look at me and be like, okay, he's 21. I don't give a fuck about what he says. He has nothing valuable to say. Fair enough. I am 21. I am young. I've barely experienced life. But the truth of the matter is, I've been obsessively learning about this kind of stuff for 5 years now, 6 years now. It's up to you whether or not you want to listen. But the fact of the matter is the things that I'm telling you are not things that I've mostly come up with my own life experience. They're things that people, have been cumulatively talking about in the area of self-improvement for hundreds of years now. I've just been obsessively learning about it and still continue to obsessively learn about it to this day for a long time. So it's like, take it for what it's worth. You haven't read the things I've read. You haven't studied things I've studied. I'm offering my opinion and it resonates with a lot of people. If it didn't, nobody would follow my shit. Nobody would watch my shit. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in. And so, if you don't want to listen to me because I'm 21, so be it. Find somebody that worked for you. I'm not going to hate on you for trying to improve yourself, of course not. But for you to say I'm not going to listen to somebody because they're 21 it's ignorant beyond belief. And to think that you can't learn from somebody because of their age is absurd. It's completely absurd. And not for nothing, those people who are saying I'm not going to listen to him because he's 21 are not the kind of people that are invested in self-improvement anyways. So it's almost like a non-conversation, because the people that are actually invested in making themselves better don't give a fuck how old somebody is. If a 4-year-old is going to give you the best advice you've ever heard and a 77-year-old is going to give you the worst advice you ever heard, you're not going to fucking listen to the 77-year-old. Who gives a fuck that he's old? What the fuck does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's stupid. It's dispensable. It's ridiculous to even assume that. But so be it. So be it. I posted a video talking about how, you only set reasonable boundaries when you love yourself. And I'll break that down and then I'll talk about the comments and I'll kind of, get into it a little bit. So what do I mean by that? When you love yourself, you set healthy boundaries, reasonable boundaries, respectable boundaries, boundaries that actually make sense. Because when you love yourself, You're not going to tell somebody what they should or shouldn't wear. You're not going to tell somebody who they should or shouldn't hang out with. And the reason for that is because you're good with who you are. Why the fuck would you want to tell somebody else what they should or shouldn't do? The only reason why you're going to try and control somebody else is because you're insecure with you. And that doesn't mean that you don't have boundaries. But what it means is when you're coming from a place where you love yourself, your boundaries are actually going to come across authentic and real and non-excessive. Like if you look at really healthy relationships, I haven't seen a relationship where I'm like, you know what? They have their shit together. I want to be like them. Between somebody that says, you can't go out to the club. You can't wear that. You can't hang out with that person. And why is that? Because you don't set boundaries on things that don't actually affect your relationship, right? I remember I saw this thing the other day. It was like, you clearly don't respect your man if you're a woman and you decide to go out to a club knowing that you're going to get hit on. What does that even mean? You're going to get hit on no matter what you do. If you're a beautiful woman, should you not go to the mall because you're going to get hit on? Well, you're not going to get hit on as much. If you go to the club, you know you're going to get hit on. If you're going to the mall, you don't know you're going to get hit on. What people don't understand is the reason why is what matters. If you like to go to the club because you like to have fun, dance, and have a good time, it's very different from you want to go to the club because you want attention from other dudes. If you want to go to the club and you're in a relationship and the only reason why you want to go to the club is because you want that attention and to get hit on from other guys, that's fucked up and you shouldn't be going to the club. Agreed. But if you're going to the club because you want to have fun and dance and have a good time and live your life, why the fuck does it matter? If getting hit on by dudes is something she can handle, who cares if she goes out? The only reason why you're going to care if she goes out, if she's genuinely going out and there's no fear of her cheating or her entertaining any of the guys that are going to hit on her, what does it matter to you? It doesn't. People like to give these insane metaphors and analogies for it. Like, this is what I heard. Someone said, letting your girl go to a club is like driving a really nice, expensive car out in a neighborhood where cars get stolen all the time. It's like, no, it's not. First of all, you can't compare a woman to a fucking car. Second of all, it's not like she's going to go to the club and get snatched and stolen like it's a car. You can't compare the two. You're talking about her getting hit on versus her getting taken from you. If you're worried about her getting taken from you by going to the club, why are you in a relationship with her in the first place? If she meets some brilliant guy at the club who's way better than you that she'd rather be with, is it a you problem or is it her problem? That's a you problem. If you're worried about her entertaining the attention from other dudes at the club, you're not in a good relationship. The problem is not the club. The problem is you're both insecure, and so she's trying to fill a gap by getting hit on by other dudes, and you're trying to control her because you know that if she does, she's going to entertain it. But that's because you're both fucking insecure. Secure people don't give a fuck what the other person does. To an extent, right? I mean, it's such an extreme. But if you are okay with who you are, you're not going to give a fuck if the other person goes into the club. Why is this such a fucking... I can't believe this is even a conversation. Like, if you're a confident fucking dude and you're in a relationship with a girl and she doesn't care about getting attention from other guys and she's just going to tell guys, nah, I have a boyfriend, when they're at the club and they try to grab her or hit on her or do whatever, and that, you know, that's a make or break for you? Fuck, dude. I don't know. Your ego's too far out there to think that you should have a dictation on what she does and doesn't do, or a dictation on the fact that she goes out to the club or doesn't go out to the club because you don't want her to get hit on by other dudes. If the reason she's going out is because she wants to get hit on, that's different. But if the reason she's going out is because she wants to have fun and she's not going to entertain these other guys when they try and flirt with her or do whatever, what does it matter to you? What does it matter to you? If she goes out to a mall and gets hit on, are you going to tell her, no more going to the mall because there's guys there that are going to hit on you? No, you're not, because that's stupid. The clubs just has this fucking stigma to it because enough people have talked about it. And granted, there are a lot more guys that are going to hit on your girl at the club than there are at the mall. But what is the difference? What is the difference? This isn't a conversation about semantics. This is a conversation about philosophy. But so many of you are too fucking thick-headed to understand that. It's a philosophical conversation. It's not a semantical conversation. Granted, yes, do most girls that are going to the club go there because they want the attention? I don't know. Probably. I've been to a club. I know that it's probably most of the time they're going there because they want attention, they want to get hit on, they want to fill that gap. I don't get into a relationship with those kinds of girls. It's like, listen, if you're dating the kind of girl that's going to go to the club because she wants attention from other guys, that's a you problem. If you're dating a fucking hoe, the problem isn't that she's going to the club and getting hit on by other dudes. The problem is you're settling for a girl that's a hoe. The conversation isn't she should be going to the club or she shouldn't be going to the club or what she should or shouldn't wear or who she should or shouldn't hang out with. The problem is you're in a relationship with the hoe. Get out of the relationship. The problem isn't the club. The problem is your level of security with who you are, that you'll settle for a relationship with a girl that's trash. And the irony is, trash people settle for trash people. And until you work on improving yourself, you're going to continue to settle for these shitty people because you don't deserve anything better. That's the harsh reality. People don't want to hear it. It's the fucking truth. And that's why 99% of relationships suck. And that's why 99% of the comments on my advice about relationships are negative ones. But I tell you what, guarantee you don't have a good relationship. Guarantee you've been hurt tremendously in the past. And I guarantee a lot of that has been your fault too. It's the harsh reality. Yeah, I wanted to touch on this one again. And this was actually one of the videos where most of the people were actually on board with what I'm saying. But here's the thing, especially with women in college, they come to me all the time and they say, I don't know what to do. I've been talking to this guy for a long time and, we've been hooking up for a while, but I don't know if he wants a relationship. If that's the situation that you're in, you need to understand something. If he wanted to be in a relationship with you, he'd get into a relationship with you. It's really that simple. Why are you waiting around for a guy to see if he's going to change his mind on what you know he already thinks? And why are you hooking up with a guy when you know that you don't want to hook up with a guy unless you're in a relationship with him, when he hasn't told you he wants to be in a relationship with you? That's your fault. That's not his fault. Is he scummy sometimes for it? Maybe. I don't know the specifics of your situation. But if you're going to keep hooking up with a guy when you don't want to hook up with him, stop hooking up with him. If hooking up with a guy is hurting your feelings because you want a relationship and he doesn't, stop hooking up with him. Why is this even a conversation? I don't need to tell you that. That's so obvious. You're hooking up with him because you think maybe one day he'll want a relationship with you, and you think that by giving him what he wants, which is hooking up, eventually he'll give you what you want, which is a relationship. That's not how it works. Stop doing that to yourself. It's self-sabotage. The problem is women don't want to take their responsibility. They don't. They don't want to be in the position where they say, nah, can't do it. Not going to do it. Not going to hook up with you. I can't. You don't want to be in a relationship. That's fine. But I'm not going to hook up with you. If you want to be in a relationship, we'll talk. That's fine. I like you for who you are. I really like what you're about. I like where you're headed in life. And I want a relationship with you. But I'm not willing to hurt myself by hooking up with you in the meantime to see if you're going to figure this out or not. If you don't have the strength to do that, you're going to run into the same problems over and over and over again. If you don't have the strength to do that, you're going to be the exact kind of girl that's going to say, all men are trash. The reality is you're hooking up with dudes because you want a relationship with them and they don't want one with you. And then you call those dudes the trash dudes. But the reality is you're the ignorant one that keeps falling for the same trap. Are there guys that lie and cheat and do stupid shit? Yes, of course. But if you want something serious with a guy, don't hook up with him until it's serious. Don't hurt yourself. Keywords, hurt yourself. It's not him that's hurting you. It's not. He's the proximal cause, so it seems like he's the reasonable one to blame. You're to blame. You are hooking up with him before you have what you need to not become an emotional wreck. When you find out he hooked up with somebody else, when you find out he really doesn't want anything to do with you anymore, or whatever happens. That's on you. I hate to say it. That's on you. Last thing I wanted to do, this is always a conversation with a lot of people, and it's about, how do I get closure? How do I get to the spot where, I can move on? And the reality is it's the answer you don't want to hear. And the reason for that is because closure doesn't come from anybody else besides yourself. And the example I always give is what if your ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend died? Right now, what if they just died and never explained to you why they cheated or never explained to you why things happened the way they happened? Does that mean you'll never have closure? No. But why? Because closure comes from you and nobody else. Closure comes from fixing the mistakes that you made when you were in the relationship, fixing the places where you went wrong to make things go wrong. Even if the other person is 99% to blame, there's always somewhere where you could have been better, done something better, made yourself more secure with yourself, or whatever. Because the ultimate reality is If you get into a relationship with somebody who's shitty and abusive and cheats on you, you got into the relationship with that kind of person. Are people deceptive? Yes. But you stayed there. This is a hard conversation to have. And people really don't want to hear it because it sounds like I'm victim blaming. Well, I'm not. But for you to sit there and suggest that there's nothing that you can change to make things better so you don't run into the same problems over and over again, it's fucking insane. It's insane. Well, he cheated on me. How can I be at blame for anything? You got into a relationship with somebody who's shitty enough to cheat on you. Is it their fault? For sure. But where are you lacking as a man, as a woman, to settle for a relationship with somebody who's a type of person that's going to cheat on you? Where are you lacking as a person to settle for somebody who's going to be verbally abusive? Where are you lacking? Because if you get into a relationship with somebody that's going to treat you shitty, you're not perfect. I'm not saying that what they did was okay. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can do something about it so that you don't run into the same stupid problem over and over again. You don't have to keep running into the same shitty problem over and over again. But the more you sit there and say, well, I didn't do the cheating, so therefore I have nothing to do with making things better, is the same reason why you're going to run into the same fucking problem over and over again. It's the same reason why you're going to keep saying the sentence, all men are trash. If that makes you feel comfortable, fine. Fuck it. You'll never have a good relationship in your life. It just gets me so aggravated because so many people sit in the spot where they don't want to do anything but say, woe is me. They don't want to do anything but say, well, he did this, and he did this, and he did this, or she did that, and I'm not to blame for this, and I'm not at fault for this. So you sit there and you don't take responsibility for the shit you could have fucking taken responsibility for. A perfect example is, there's a girl that came to me, and she got into a relationship with a guy that ended up cheating on her. And she was like, well, what the fuck? Like, what do I do? How do I get closure from this? He's not talking anymore. He cheated on me and then he left and we're not talking anymore. How do I get closure? And I'm like, you get closure by figuring out why you settled for this douchebag. He's an asshole. He cheated on you. He never treated you right anyways. Why were you in a relationship with him in the first place? Because when you honestly talk about it and assess it, even if he lied to you and put on this fake face from the beginning, eventually he was showing his true colors. There were certain times in the relationship where you sat there and thought, I should not be in a relationship with this guy. He's no good for me. He's no good. And you stayed. You decided to stay. Why? Whose fault is that? Is it easy? No. But is this easy? Is the situation you're in easy? No. You're fucked either way. Make the right decisions. If you want to talk about getting closure, you need to understand that the only way to get closure is to figure out where you went wrong and fix it. Even if the other person is 99% to blame, figure out your 1% and fix it. Because if you don't, you will be running into the same problems with another person. It always happens that way. Always. I wish it didn't. But people don't want to take responsibility. It's ironic too, because there's so many relationships where if you were to just build some winning habits, you would immediately break up with that other person. I see it all the time. Somebody will, they'll be out of shape. They won't have their career and their finances in check. They don't have their mental health in check. Their room's a mess. Their life is just not great. And their relationship sucks too. But the second they start fixing their habits, they start exercising and taking care of their body. They start taking care of their mental health. They start keeping their room clean. They start taking better care of their finances and their career. They no longer want to be in the relationship with the person that they were with. Why? Because they are now in a spot where they understand they can do better. But until you start treating yourself better and start building winning habits, you know inherently you don't deserve better because you don't even treat yourself with respect. So why would you deserve somebody that's going to treat you with respect? It's harsh. It sucks. Yes. It's harsh. The reality fucking sucks sometimes. And in this case, it for sure does. It's difficult. It's hard. Yeah, it really is. But you know what else is hard? Hating yourself and being in a relationship with somebody that doesn't respect you. That's harsh too. Want to call it victim blaming? Fuck it. Stay exactly where you are. Never get the closure you can get. Never take the responsibility and move on and be better and not run into the same problems over and over again. Your choice. But if you want things to get better, you need to get better. If you are in a shitty relationship with a man or a woman, you need to become a better man or woman to deserve a better person. You can't just sit there and say, I'm a high-value woman or I'm a high-value man and I deserve better. Why do you deserve better? What do you do with your time that you think you deserve better? You don't take care of your physical health. You don't take care of your mental health. Your room's a fucking mess. Your life's a mess. You don't take care of your relationships. Why do you deserve better? Why do you deserve somebody that's in shape mentally and physically, takes care of their career, takes care of their finances? Why do you deserve somebody that's going to be well off in all areas of life if you don't even take care of the shit that you can take care of? No one that's actually successful and happy and healthy is going to settle for somebody that's not successful, happy, and healthy. Obviously. Why would you? It doesn't make any sense. And the closure is going to come from fixing the things that you can fix. It's not victim blaming. I'm enabling you with the power to fix the shit you could fix. It's a painful reality to accept that there are places where you fucked up and can be better. And if you choose not to accept it, you're going to be in the same exact spot that you're in forever. It's up to you. Jeez, that was an aggressive episode, but fuck it. It's the truth. It's the truth. I mean, you know, the way I communicate is not for everybody, that's for sure, but it's real, it's raw, it's authentic. It's the way I communicate, and it's the way I like to express myself. So, I mean, whether you like it or not, it is what it is. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning into episode 30 of the Jason Scalora Show. Let me know if there's anything specifically that you would want to see, want me to talk about, any questions you have for me. I'm more than happy to answer any of them. Love yourself because I love you, and stay handsome. Peace.
This is a Cinema Beats production.